Jesus told them for the first time that terrible shit's about to happen to him. And Peter's like, "You're being uber melodramatic, dude." And Jesus is like, "Shut up, asshole. You don't even know." And Peter's like, "I would know if you told me." And Jesus like, "I ain't telling you shit." And that is one of the times where I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad I'm Jesus's friend. Could you imagine being his enemy? How much burn cream you would need? Jesus, you would just have to walk around with like a burn lord attached to your back, dealing with that guy if you're his enemy. See, this part. this, this motherfucker. Jesus does this, but then Moses and Elijah show up, right? And then fucking Peter, he's like, "Hey, do you think we should build you guys a house? We build 3 houses. We have a good time." And then as Peter was interrupting this special moment between Jesus, Elijah, and Moses, a cloud covers them. And a voice came from the cloud saying,
"This is my son." Shut up, Peter. He's literally talking to people. He doesn't need you to interrupt him while he's talking with people. So shut up, Peter. Peter! Yeah, shut up, Peter.
Jesus is so, man. He's like, "I know you were talking about this, but what about my suffering? Did you guys pay attention to my suffering? Do you guys realize what's about to happen?" And they're like, "Anyway, salt is good, but if the salt becomes unsalty, what will you use to make it salty? You have salt in yourselves and be at peace with one another." Right. Be your own fucking spice packet. Your fucking spice packet of life. You have your own fucking flavor, man. You are your own fucking salt flavor. You are your own fucking flavor packet. What do you think about this? Them adding, I guess not adding, but putting the Sermon on the Mount, like putting different sections of it in different chapters in these books instead of all keeping it together like it was supposed to be. Hey there, future fellow weird ass black sheep. Welcome. You have officially entered the party pit. It's my humble cave. Welcome. No. I am not the stranger. I am the Saint of Awesome, your super stone sage, Santa Mickey K the Great. That is me. And what we do here in this most amazing place is first, we take off our Devon Dudley sunglasses. Yeah. And then we read this great ass book called God Said. It's a trilogy. We're on book 2 called Jesus, comma, who? Question mark. Because apparently people need to know God the Third. So I'm going to gladly introduce you to God the Third because he is so amazing. He's like a good guy. He's a good guy to know. He's a good guy. So I'm going to introduce him to you. So, where we left off, oh yeah, Jesus told them for the first time that terrible shit's about to happen to him. And Peter's like, "You're being uber melodramatic, dude." And Jesus is like, "Shut up, asshole. You don't even know." And Peter's like, I would know if you told me. And Jesus like, I ain't telling you shit. So it was like a whole melodramatic conversation. Jesus was crying and Peter was crying. And then Jesus got pissed off because Peter was crying. Like, you're taking my spotlight, dude. Something like that. So Jesus made Peter feel stupid for saying Jesus. Maybe you shouldn't be like that, dude. But no, Jesus wants to be like that. So Jesus is like that. Um, what else did he tell him? Nothing. He didn't tell him nothing. But he was doing a whole lot of mic dropping before that though. He was mic dropping all over these terrible ass God people. Like every time they turned around, Jesus was dropping a mic on them. It was like that whole Disturbed song. Only instead of plates, it was mics. Dropping mics on that ass bitch. Right? And Jesus was doing that. Right? And that is where we left off. Why isn't there any talky thing? Like a thingamabob. What is this one? Huh. Well, this is very awkward. We're going to do this. Okay. Now you guys are on the couch. That feels much better so I can see you over there on the couch. So, if hearing about Jesus and more of his mic drop moments sounds completely amazing to you, come this way because I've got a whole lot of amazing stories to tell you. It's going to be so much fun. Well, it's going to be fun for me. I don't know if it's going to be fun for anybody else, but come along and find out if it's going to be fun for you. Because it's totally going to be fun for you right up until we get to like the last two chapters. Then it's not fun. Well, the third to last and second to last chapter is maybe not so fun, but the last chapter is hilarious. And the first few chapters, while Jesus is making these people look like assholes, that is hilarious. And that is one of the times where I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad I'm Jesus's friend. Could you imagine being his enemy? How much burn cream you would need? Jesus, you would just have to walk around with like a burn board attached to your back, dealing with that guy if you're his enemy. Yeah, it was a whole thing. But anyway, oh my God. No. Did you see that? No, well, no, you didn't see that, but I just, man, I just almost wrecked this whole Bible. Okay. So we're going to go on to chapter 9. So before we do that, where are you coming in from? What are you drinking? And what are you smoking? Feel free to let me know. Chat in the chat. I would love to interact with you. And if you're on replay crew, watch at 1.5 speed. Watch at 1.5 speed and comment in the comment section because I know a lot of people are going to watch this on replay. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe and comment because comments are always fun. And I do talk back to them. I know creators are not supposed to pay attention to the comments, but I mean, there ain't nothing y'all can tell me that ain't nobody else already told me. Because other people try to shit on the Bible when I read it all the time. It's like, have you ever heard me read the Bible? Do you think I give a shit about anything that you just said? Because I didn't even take the time to read it. So there's that. But now that we are there, we're going to go on to chapter 9. So we are on chapter 9. And he was saying to them, listen, I'm telling you, there are some of those who are standing here who shall not taste death until they see the kingdom of God after it has come with power. And 6 days later, Jesus took with him Peter and the sons of thunder and brought them, see this part. this motherfucker. Okay. So Jesus takes these dudes, Peter and the sons of thunder, he takes them on top of this mountain because he wants to show them he's a shiny vampire. So Jesus does this, but then Moses and Elijah show up, right? And then fucking Peter, he's like, hey, do you think we should build you guys a house? We built 3 houses. We have a good time. And then as Peter was interrupting this special moment between Jesus, Elijah, and Moses, a cloud covers them. And a voice came from the cloud saying,
This is my son. Shut up, Peter. He's literally talking to people. He doesn't need you to interrupt him while he's talking with people. So shut up, Peter. Peter. Yeah. Shut up, Peter.
so, so they got down and did the face thing because of the blasting voice from the clouds, because Peter don't know how to shut up. Jesus said, get over yourself, guys. It's only me. And then when they opened their eyes, it was only Jesus, because no duh. And then as Jesus was walking down the mountain with them, because they'll be coming down the mountain when they come, he's like, don't say shit about this till after I'm dead. I mean, you could tell him now, and I could save face and make you guys look like assholes by saying no. Or you can wait till I'm dead. If you can wait till I'm dead to say this to people, it won't make you look like you're making up stories or nothing. No, you'll be fine. Don't worry about it. It'll be good. Okay. And they seized upon that statement, discussing with one except Jesus. And they were coming down the mountain, and he said, don't tell anybody until I come back to life. And they were discussing among themselves, how the fuck is he going to come back to life? What is he even talking about? No one knows what's happening. No one knows what's happening. No one knows what's happening. So, while they're discussing what's happening, even though they do not know what's happening, they said, and then they asked him, saying it, why is it that the scribes say Elijah must come first? And then Jesus said, Elijah does come first and restore all things. Yet, how it is written, the Son of Man, he should suffer many things and be treated with contempt. Right? Elijah does come first and restore all things. And yet, how is it written, the Son of Man, he should suffer many things and be treated with contempt? Listen, Jesus, they were talking about Elijah. Look, Jesus is so, man. He's like, I know you were talking about this, but what about my suffering? You know, did you guys pay attention to my suffering? Do you guys realize what's about to happen? And they're like, Jesus, man, you keep saying this all the time. Man, we don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear about all the bad stuff, okay? It's like every 5 minutes with you. Did you know I'm going to die? Did you know things are going to suck for me? Did you know? Of course we know. We've read Das Biblia. We know it's going to suck. But in our minds right now, as we speak, none of this shit is real. It'll get real, okay? I don't know when, Jesus, but eventually it's going to get real. But until then, keep your melodrama to yourself. Jesus did not say that. That was not a conversation that they had. But in my mind, it feels like that's the exact shit I would have said. Like, really? Are you going to ruin our good time with more dead stories? Knock it off. Stop it. Just stop. Okay? Just let me drink this Mountain Dew Baja Blast in peace without you reminding me that you're about to die. And then that's when I would have told them, I know that you're going on this big, extravagant tour, and the finale is going to be something. But I'm sorry I cannot go with you. I got a family and I got kids, and you're talking about you're going to die. And if you're going to die, I can't be here no more because I don't want to die. I'm like a murderer who kills people and gets a death penalty. And then dude does all my appeals because I don't want to die. Yeah, I'm like that, Jesus. Oh my God. My cat's jumping all over shit back there in the kitchen behind that curtain. Okay. But listen, I'm telling you, Elijah has indeed come, and they did to him whatever they wished, just as it is written of him. And when they came back to the disciples, they saw a large crowd around them, and the scribes arguing with them. Oh, here we go. Mickety, 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 mic drop. Here it comes. And immediately, then the entire crowd saw Jesus. They were amazed and began running to greet him. Your tour is not supposed to be here for another week. How lucky are we? Are you going to do your concert early? Is that why you're here? Man, we need autographs. Go get everybody. You're doing a concert early? Oh, man. It wouldn't it be amazing if you did your concert early? I mean, you're here. You could do your concert early, like a day early. Yeah. But your disciples are having a hard time. You should go check them out. Mm, 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 mm. Okay. And when he went down there, someone said, "Teacher, I brought you my son, possessed with a spirit which makes him mute. And whenever it seizes him, it dashes him to the ground, and he foams at his mouth, grinds his teeth, and stiffens out. And I told your disciples to cast it out, and they could not do it because they fucking suck." And then Jesus was like, "Ugh, you unbelieving generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I put up with you? Bring him here. So tired of this. I'm so tired of this." So Jesus said, "Okay, bring me the kid." And they brought the boy. And when he saw him, immediately the spirit threw him into a convulsion. And falling to the ground, he began rolling about and foaming at the mouth. And he asked his father, "How long has this been going on?" And the dad was like, "Pretty much his whole life." And has often thrown him both into moving cars and fire. I'm just kidding. It only throws. Hey, hi, Miss Muddy. It's okay. I'll tell you a story while you fall asleep. I will. Okay. He has been doing this since childhood. It often throws him into moving cars, fire, and water to destroy him. But if you can do anything, take pity and help us. And Jesus said, "If you can, all things are possible to him who believes." Immediately, the boy's father cried out and began saying, I do believe, help my unbelief." And when Jesus saw that a crowd was gathering, he rebuked the unclean spirit, saying, "You deaf and uneducated spirit, I commend you to come out of him and do not enter into him again." And after crying out and throwing him into terrible convulsions, it came out. And the boy became so much like a corpse that most of them said, "He is dead." But Jesus took him by the hand and said, "Get the hell up, man. You're making me look bad." And he got up. And when he had come into the house, his disciples began questioning him privately. "Why could we not cast it out?" Because you couldn't. That's why. Just you couldn't cast him out. So that's why. Okay. And he said to them, This this kind cannot come out by anything but prayer." Like they would have known that. Like you told them literally they could get rid of demons. But this one you can't get rid of unless you pray or you're Jesus. And from there they went out and began to go through Galilee. And he was unwilling for anyone to know about it. For he was teaching his disciples and telling them, "The Son of Man is to be delivered into the hands of men, and they will unsubscribe him from God Jr.'s YouTube. And when he has been unsubscribed, he will raise 3 days later." That's 420. But they did not understand this statement, and they were afraid to ask him. And they came to Capernaum, and when he was in the house, he began to question them, saying, "What were you discussing on the way?" But they didn't want to tell him because they had discussed with one another which of them was the greatest. And sitting down, he called to the 12 and said, "If anyone wants to be first, he shall be last and servant of all." And taking a child, he sat them before them, and taking him in his arms, he said, "Whoever receives one child in this name, one child like this in my name, receives me. And whoever receives me, it's not only me, but him who sent me. And then John said, Teacher, we saw someone casting out demons in your name. And we tried to say, we don't know you. That's our job. Only we can do that, not you. Sorry to tell you. But it's like it's a Jesus thing. And you don't know Jesus. So I'm sorry. And then Jesus said, Do not hinder him, for there is no one who shall perform a miracle in my name and be able soon afterward to speak evil of me. Okay. For he who is not against us is for us. For whoever gives you a cup of water because because of your name as followers of La Christe, listen, I'm telling you, he shall not lose his reward. And whoever causes one of these little ones who believe to stumble, it would be better for him to be catapulted into a shark tank with pedophiles. And if your hand causes you to stumble, cut it off, because it's better to go to heaven maimed than go to hell with your appendages. Where their worm does not die, and the fire is quenched. And if your foot causes you to stumble, cut it off. Where the worm does not die, the fire is not quenched. Oh, okay, never mind. If your hand, your eye, or your foot, whatever in your body causes you to stumble, get rid of it, because it's better to go to heaven maimed than to hell 100%. For everyone will be salted with fire. Salt is good. But if the salt becomes unsalty, see, why is he doing the Sermon of the Mount? See, some of the stuff is in the Sermon on the Mount. But over here in these couple books, it's putting pieces of the Sermon on the Mount in different areas of his book. As like a thing. Okay. Where am I at? Okay. Okay. But anyway, salt is good, but if the salt becomes unsalty, what will you use to make it salty? You have salt in yourselves and be at peace with one another. Right. Be your own fucking spice packet. Your fucking spice packet of life. You have your own fucking flavor, man. You are your own fucking salt flavor. You are your own fucking flavor packet. You're the flavor packet of life. But that's some Sermon on the Mount shit. And we're gonna go on to chapter 10. Okay. And rising up, he went from there to the region of Judea, beyond the Jordan, and crowds gathered around him again to catch a glimpse of him taking a shiny pile of shit. These people are terrible. Okay. Crowds gathered around him again, and according to his custom, he once more began to teach them. And some Pharisees came up to him, testing him, and began to question him whether it was lawful for a man to divorce his wife. And he answered them and said, Are you guys ready for a mic drop? Yeah, I think you're ready for a mic drop. I'm going to mushroom stamp your forehead with this mic drop. Just wait. And he said, What did Moses command you? And they said, Moses permitted a man to divorce his wife. And then Jesus said, Because of the hardness of your heart and your peckers always wanting some strange, that's the only reason. you guys get to divorce because you don't know how to shut the fuck up and you're never satisfied. Like, that's a theme with you people. You're never satisfied. You're bloodthirsty monsters. And no matter how much blood you get, it's not enough. So Moses let y'all do it. Yeah. But from the beginning of creation, God made them male and female. For this cause, a man will leave his father and his mother and cleave to his wife. And the two shall become one flesh. Consequently, they are no longer two, but one. Therefore, what God has joined together, no man can separate. And in the house, the disciples began questioning him about this. And he said, whoever divorces his wife and marries another woman commits adultery. And if she herself divorces her husband to marry another, she is committing adultery. And they were bringing children to him so that he might touch them. And the disciples rebuked them. So they were bringing the children, and the disciples are like, y'all stop, okay? Just stop. And then Jesus is like, who the fuck made you my manager? Who told you you could tell these people not to see me? Who? Did I say that? Because I don't think I said that. I might have said that. No, I didn't say that. Don't tell these people they can't come see me. You're not my manager. As a matter of fact, my manager is God Jr., and he told y'all to fuck off. Okay. Yeah. For the kingdom of God belongs to such as these. Because listen, I'm telling you, who does not receive the kingdom of God like a child shall never enter it at all. And he took them in his arms and began blessing them, laying his hands on them. And then he was setting out on a journey. A man ran up to him and did the face thing and said, good teacher, what do I do to inherit life? And Jesus was like, why are you calling me good? There's only one good, and that's God Jr. I'm God the third. I mean, I am good, but I'm not as good as that guy. I would call that guy good first. You know what I mean? And then the dude's like, well, what do I do? And Jesus is like, do you follow the 10 commandments? And he's like, yeah, I follow the 10 commandments. And then Jesus is like, well, then go sell all your stuff and give it, or go give all your stuff away. You'll be fine. And then the guy's like, yeah, but my PlayStation 5. And Jesus said, well, there's your answer. You're not going to heaven because your PlayStation 5 is more important to you. Sorry. And Jesus, looking around, said to his disciples, how hard will it be for those who are wealthy to enter the kingdom of the God, or of God? And the disciples were amazed at his words. But Jesus said, children, how hard is it to enter the KOG? It is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the KOG. And they were even more astonished and said, well, then how? And he's like, no man can do it, but God. All things are possible through God. Just like that. And then Peter was like, we have left everything and we have followed you. And Jesus said, there is no one who has left anything for my sake or for the gospel's sake, but that he shall receive 100 times as much now in the present age, houses, brothers, sisters, mothers, children, wait, children, and farms, along with persecutions, and in the age to come, eternal life. But to many who are first will be last, and the last first. That's in a Dimubo Gear song, but I'm telling you, you don't want to be back of line. That's where all these terrible ass God people go, to the back of the line. And they never get to see God because God never gets to the back of the line. Because I'm telling you, there's more people that Jesus loves. There's more people that Jesus actually loves than these terrible ass God people. So God never gets to the back of the line. That shit's like purgatory. Anyway, Jesus is telling them about the back of the line. If you think you were going to be first, you were going to be last, right? So none of you want to be the greatest because then you're going to back of the line with these terrible ass God people. I'm probably going to be in the middle of the line because I am the saint of awesome and I do have grandeur feelings about myself. So I might be in the middle of the line. I can still hear the music, but God never gets down that far. And they were on the road going up to Jerusalem. And Jesus was walking ahead of them. And they were amazed. And those who followed were fearful. And again, he took the 12 aside and began to tell them what was going to happen to him. Man, here we go with the melodramatic Jesus. So Jesus began to tell them what was going to happen to him, saying, "Behold, I am super melodramatic, and things are about to get all bad." Yeah, it's like we're going into the ocean without floaties on, and then bam, shark attack. No one knows what happened, but that's going to happen to me. Man, I'm just kidding. Jesus did not say that. What he did say is, um, "Behold, we are going up to Jewland, and the Son of Man will be delivered to the chief priests and the scribes, and they will condemn him to death and deliver him to the Gentiles, and they will mock him and spit upon him." Look, you was doing the spitting first, Jesus. You was spitting first, and scourge him and kill him. And 3 days later, on 420, he will rise again. And the sons of thunder came up to him, saying, "Teacher, we want you to do for us whatever we ask you." Of course you do, because it's in your fucking blood to be greedy rat snakes. Fucking shit. And then he was like, "Well, what y'all want?" And they said that we need to sit in your glory on your right and your left. And Jesus said, "Haha, that's so cute, but no. No, as a matter of fact, it's going to be Das Babies. Das Baby is going to be on my right and on my left. It's not going to be you two. Yeah, you're going to be sitting on the other side of the table. And not only that, your chairs are going to be facing the wall." Jesus didn't say that. And Jesus said, "You have no idea what you're asking for. Are you able to drink from the same cup as me, or to be baptized with the baptism which I'm about to be baptized?" And they said, "Yep." And Jesus said, "Okay, well, you know what? Yeah, you're gonna have it bad. Yeah, it's gonna be all bad for you. But as on my right and my left, that's God Jr. He gets to decide, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be babies. It's not gonna be any of you. It's gonna be a baby on my right, and then a couple of you, and a baby on my left, and then a couple of you. But neither one of you are gonna be on either side of me. You're just gonna be on the table, facing the wall." I can't. I can't. And hearing this, the other 10 began to feel indignant with the sons of thunder. And hearing this, oh, and calling to himself, Jesus said, "You know that those who are recognized as rulers by the Gentiles lord over them, and their great men exercise authority over them. But it is not so among you. Wait till you die. Wait until you die, big guy. Because I'm telling you what, these motherfuckers wish that this was true among them, because Peter decided he was going to be the ruler and not do a fucking thing for anybody except for kill two people. So, yeah. Yeah, it is like that among them. And then the one who thinks he's first isn't even a servant to them. As a matter of fact, he goes off on his own to sit in a place so other people come to him. I can't. I can't. We're not even there yet. I'm getting high blood pressure for part 3 of this book that we are never reading again because that shit is snaky. No, I'm just kidding. We'll eventually read part 3 of Das Bible. But I hate it. I hate the New Testament more than that Baby Shark song. Like, I could listen to the Baby Shark song before or a bazillion times before I would ever consider reading part 3 of Das Bible because it's some snake shit. But I will read it to prove a point to show everybody that Peter is a murderer and a coward and Paul is full of shit. I hate the New Testament. Anyway, listen. But it is not so among you. Whoever wishes to become great among you shall be your servant, and whoever wishes to be first among you shall be slave to all, unless he's Peter and he's got the death stare. For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and give his life for many. Mostly because I'm grounded because God Jr. is very upset. And they came to Jericho, and as he was going down from Jericho, his disciples and a great multitude and a blind beggar named Bartimaeus was sitting by the road. And when he heard that it was Jesus, the Nazarene, Jesus is not a Nazarene, though. Jesus is a Nazarite. Was Jesus a Nazarene? Because that's what Saul and no, Samson and yeah, and Samuel. They were Nazarenes. They couldn't cut their hair, remember? Couldn't have honey, couldn't like touch dead things. And every time he broke a vow, he had to shave his head. Yeah. Jesus, I didn't think he was a Nazarene. He wasn't promised anything. And he didn't make a promise. But anyway, okay. That Jesus was coming, he began to cry out and say, Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me. And many were sternly telling him to be quiet, but he kept getting louder. And Jesus stopped and said, come here. And the people around were like, ooh, he's about to say some shit. And Jesus said, so what do you want? And they told, and then the people were like, he wants you. So listen, be strong. And casting aside his cloak, he jumped up and came to Jesus. And answering him, Jesus said, what do you want? And the guy was like, pepperoni. No, it says rubberoni, pepperoni, ravioli. I want to see the color pink. And Jesus said, go your own way, see the color pink. Right? That's exactly what he said. He said, go on, your faith has made you well. And immediately he saw the color pink. Okay. So what do you guys think? Here we go. And as they approached Jerusalem at Bethphage and Bethany, near the Mount of Olives, which may or may not be a bar, he sent two of his disciples. What? I thought it was on the mountain with his brother. Is that a different book? How many chapters of this book is left? Mark 15. Oh, there's only 16 chapters. Okay. Well, this book really sped up his demise, didn't it? There's a whole bunch of shit that happens way before this. And Jesus mic dropped his own brother on a mountain. It's ah, man. I'm really sad this isn't the part. Okay. So he sent two of his disciples saying, look, go down over there. There'll be a donkey and a colt, and I need you to get them for me. Right? Get them for me. And people ask you, just say Jesus, and it'll be okay. So that's what they did. And some of the bystanders were saying to them, what are you doing? And they were like, Jesus. And they were like, okay. So they brought the colt to Jesus and put their garments on it. And many spread their garments on the road, and others spread leafy branches, leafy branches, which they had cut from the fields. I thought branches were from trees. No one knows what's happening. And those who went before and those who followed were crying out, Hosanna, Baruch Adonai. Blessed is the coming kingdom of our father David. Hosanna in the highest. Yeah, okay. And then he entered Jerusalem and came into the temple. And after looking around, he departed for Bethany with the 12, since it was already late. And on the next day, when they departed from Bethany, he became hungry. Oh, the fucking fig tree. This gives me post-traumatic stress because Jesus ain't supposed to be killing things. Hi, cousin. And seeing at a distance a fig tree in leaf, he went to see if perhaps he would find anything on it. But when he came to it, he found nothing, and his hangriness took over. Okay, hold on. He found nothing, for it was not the season for figs. And he answered and said to it, May no one ever eat fruit from you again. And his disciples were listening. And they were like, holy fuck, Jesus just killed something. I know it says Jesus ain't supposed to kill nothing, but I'm pretty sure he just killed that fig tree. Actually, I'm 100% sure he just killed that fig tree. But I'm sure he'll turn it into a lesson. Why did he kill the fig tree? Jesus is hangry. And then he didn't get no food. And answered, when they came to Jerusalem, he entered the, look, Jesus is setting up his finale. He's getting his t-shirt table set up outside. He's got his CD table set up outside. But then when he goes inside, he sees the people setting up selling booths on inside of the temple. So Jesus tells Peter and them, all right, go get my bag. And in this bag, he has wrestling boots. He has wrestling shorts, like John Cena wrestling shorts, and a Stone Cold Steve Austin vest, right, with his wrestling boots. He's looking like he came out of a 90s grunge music video. And then the next thing you hear is, just one of those days. And then the thing opens up, and Jesus is all like fucking on tour singing, just one of those days when you don't want to wake up. Right. And then next thing you know, Jesus is stone cold stunning people. Like they gave the Pharisee a rock bottom. And then the head priest, the one that was priest before Caiaphas, he gave him the rock bottom through a pool table. It was like a whole thing. It was a whole fucking thing. And then you got the apostles in there fucking running the ropes, clotheslining people. And people are like, oh my God, this is so great. So they actually went to church and something fun happened. They were so surprised. And when Jesus is done with that, he's like, courtesy of God Jr., fuck you, right? And he just continues it with his concert like nothing happened. And people were buying so much merchandise outside and like putting on their t-shirt that they just bought for Jesus concert. It's fucking finale, final tour date. It was like, yeah, hair flying everywhere. Exactly. It was just one of those things. And then Jesus, after that, okay. And some of the bystanders were saying to them, oh, wait, I'm in the wrong one. And, wait, where am I at? Here I am. And he began to teach them, saying, is it not written, my house will be called a house of prayer for all the nations? But you have made it a robber's den. Yeah, because they're rat snakes. And they got to cockroach up all the gold because they're gross. And the chief priests and the scribes heard this and began seeking how to destroy him because they were afraid of that stone cold stunner. For all the multitude was astonished at his teaching. The JCW, dude, did you know I watch that every Thursday night? And I like every Thursday night I watch the JCW. Usually after I finished my live stream, you'll catch me here watching the JCW. Yep. They've got these wrestlers on there. They're called the brothers of Funstruction. They're dressed like clowns. I think it's Yak Off and Whack Off, something like that. Okay. And whenever evening came, they would go into the city. And as they were passing by in the morning, they saw the fig tree that Jesus killed. And being reminded, Peter said, Rabbi, behold the fig tree which you killed. Yeah. And Jesus said, have faith in God. Because listen, I'm telling you, whoever says to this mountain, be taken up and cast it into the sea, and does not doubt in his heart, but believes what he says is going to happen, it shall be granted to him. Because listen, I'm telling you, all things for which you pray and ask and believe that you have received them, then they shall be granted to you. And whenever you stand praying, forgive. And if you have anything against anyone, so that your Father also, who is in heaven, may forgive your transgressions. But if you don't forgive, neither will your Father, who is in heaven. And they came again to Jerusalem. And as he was walking in the temple, these terrible ass God people came to him and said, by what authority are you doing these things? Or who gave you authority? Because I'm pretty sure the church did not give you authority to do that. Yeah. Because I'm in the church and like I don't remember voting on that, like giving you permission to heal people because you can't be healing our people. Because if you go around healing our people, then they won't believe us anymore. And we can't pretend that we're doing stuff. Duh. And then he said, I will answer your question with a question of my own. The most aggravating shit. Just answer the question, Jesus. But nope, Jesus doesn't answer the question. He says, well, who baptized John? Who baptized John the Baptist? Was it God or was it a man? And they were like, well, if we say a man, then, you know. But then if we say God, you know, I don't know. We don't know. Jesus, we don't know. And he says, well, then I don't know either. Good luck. Talk to you some other time. Yeah, that's the end of that chapter. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, Jesus is just going to be talking in riddles again. This next one, man. Oh, yeah. Okay. Huh. I don't think we have time for chapter 12. All right, I'll hit the outro, guys. I love you. Let's do it. Bye, guys. Love you.